All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back to the Kings of the Storm Weekly number 5. This is the high five cast, sir. You ready? 1, 2, 3, high five. All right, good enough.
A high five.
High five. All right,
No
so
problem.
we are not in game number 5. We're in game number 2 of the third place match. A lot of math I'm throwing at you, I know. Evil Geniuses and Glorious. Glorious up 1-0. Very convincing game. And we're going to go to the Garden of Terror, Shane. Not Kevin, Shane.
Yes. Thank you for having me in place of the great, once the caster formerly known as Cat's Pajamas, now known as Kevin Nake, who I looked up to as a caster back in the StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty days. So I think it's pretty cool to, I'm like, look over and see my name over there. I'm like, ha ha. Anyways, the map is Garden of Terror, which I casted this earlier today. And this map rather has a propensity of creating games that are a little bit longer than we're used to playing, spectating, and casting. But with that change in how the game goes on, maybe we'll see a change in the drafting. So we're going to see that, which is underway right now. And it looks like Glorious Gaming, with the first ban, once again, banning out the Stitches. They do not want Evil Geniuses to get their hands on that monstrosity known as Stitches.
Nobody likes Stitches. That's a lie. Everybody loves Stitches because he seems to have shot up in the tier list ever since we had this new patch coming in. I mean, we saw a new Barak last round, and it actually worked out really well. But that's because they had a lot of supporting CZ, a lot of supporting control to go with him. But Stitches by himself, very tanky. His hooks are actually really, really powerful in terms of an initiation tool, and then into the Gorge as well. Slammerino builds. You can do a lot with Stitches, and ever since, patch, we've just been seeing more and more and more of him. Flip side, though, ban Kerrigan coming from EG. They fear the Kerrigan.
I like it. I feel like Kerrigan was kind of the linchpin to Glorious Gaming's success last game. Clarong played so well, just getting in the back line. Equinox on that Jaina, I felt like he did next to nothing for a majority of that game, because Clarong and ZP accordingly were just going in there and just taking Equinox Jaina out of the match before she can really do anything. I feel like the water elemental did more damage than the actual spells from Jaina. But
in the long run,
yeah, EG banning the Kerrigan, so they do not want to deal with that again. And maybe we'll see another Jaina pickup with Kerrigan being picked up, but that's obviously something we're going to see as the draft goes on. Tychus is available, Arthas is available, Tassadar is available, but as we mentioned before, Tassadar seems to be falling off a little bit as far as being picked up this early into the match. And there's the Arthas pickup. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone.
No, not whatsoever. I mean, Glorious and Arthas, ZP, he really has a good relationship with the Lich King. And
yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong with the first pick Arthas. Because it's a first pick Arthas, I'm going to assume it's going to be a first pick Tychus. And then since it's Gardens, you can really not go wrong with a Tassadar here, especially since we're going more mental acuity. That's a lot of information control in some big, windy areas. And of course, the seeds. It's all about that seed.
Yes.
So would not be surprised to see it, sir.
And there's a Tychus Falstad. So you got the two big assassins in the lineup there. I think a lot of people think Tychus and Falstad are, they're the most commonly picked assassins right now, and I agree with that. They're so very strong, and there's the backline of Evil Geniuses already coming to shape, the Tychus and Falstad. So they got a lot of burst, a lot of damage coming up.
And that's a very powerful first pickup lineup there from Evil Geniuses. Why do I always forget to take off the Twitch alerts? I'm so sorry. Every game has had one Twitch alert. Just like, people are following the stream, which I appreciate. I love that. But they're never doing it between matches. They're always doing it during draft. Breaking third ball here a little bit. But Vala and Tassadar, so I mean, it wasn't the Tassadar on one side, it's going to be the Tassadar on the other. And we have not seen a match here on this stream that has not had a Vala or not had a Jaina today.
Really?
Yep. 100% attendance for both.
Hey. Yeah, that's representing equally of all sexes, all races, of all, not races, all categories of heroes. So I'm happy to hear about that. But once again, if you can't get Tychus Falstad, what are you going to fall back on? You're going to fall back on to the Vala. So I don't think that's any surprise. And once again, they get a Tassadar being picked up in the second round. That seems to be his new home, is in the second round or third round of the draft. I've seen him picked up first a couple times, but
It's just not
I think that was
first
actually only. Yeah, he's really not. Another thing interesting is I saw Abathur, who also received a significant beatdown with the Nerf bat. We haven't been seeing him as much as we used to. And there's the follow pickup from Evil Geniuses, a Brightwing and an Anubarak. And one thing I want to talk about Brightwing is Brightwing, with the way they changed Rewind from a flat time change to just outright taking your abilities off cooldown, that enables Brightwing to have 2 polymorphs in succession without it breaking. And that is actually a really big deal when it comes to certain heroes, specifically heroes like Chen and things like that. I actually saw a Brightwing and they got the increased damage on polymorph, and Shin didn't get a single Panda Pals off for like 3 or 14 team fights because you just get polymorphed and then rewind and then polymorphed. Yeah, it was really, really strong. And actually, no, I haven't casted Evil Geniuses today. That can't be it. But Brightwing actually got a big buff because of the change on rewind. So I'm not surprised to see her being picked up more.
Crazy. Yeah, I didn't actually think it was going to be that powerful, but if you can take out a Panda Pals, that is definitely something of note. Now, I was a little curious to see what the last pickups here from Glorious are going to be, because they've set themselves up with the 1 damage dealer of Vala. They got themselves their front line, so they need a support, and then they need a damage. I was fully expecting with Kerrigan Band to see a Zeratul, but instead, it's going to be Illidan, Uther.
Yes.
More Illidan here in NA can only be a good thing.
I really like the Illidan pickup. I love Illidan. I think a lot of people love Illidan. But, I mean, Kevin kind of talked about it right before I came on, where that 10% damage increase on his sweeping strikes translates into a lot more than you would think. Just strictly because of the lifesteal, it enables him more sustain. Obviously, it gives him the damage bonus, but it also gives him more sustain than he had before. So I really like that. And, of course, he has the backup from Uther in the heals. If he gets cleansed, he obviously has the cleanse to get out of any sticky, hard CC situations. But Illidan into a Brightwing. Brightwing's definitely going to have the ability to lock Illidan down with the rewind. And oh my. Yes. I'll let you do that one. You love that hero. You take it. You say it.
I have level 10. I have a master skin, and I have a Heroes Fire guide in the works. This is a treat. I get to watch Evil Geniuses take Sergeant Hammer to the Nexus. Oh my goodness.
Not only Sergeant Hammer, but actually physically can see Sergeant Hammer now.
Dude, I played a game with her today in Master Skin, the black and red Master Skin, and as I lay siege to her, she pops open the top and she just starts cheering as I slam into their towers again and again. It made my morning. Oh my god, did it make my morning?
I just want to mention this. It seems counterintuitive for her to be sticking out in siege mode and not in siege. I feel like it should be the other way around, shouldn't it? Like,
I don't know. When you're not going anywhere, you get some fresh air. It's like when a submarine surfaces from the sea. It's just like, well, you're not going anywhere. You might as well enjoy some sunlight. And we're gonna go into the map where sunlight is actually a time of day, the day-night cycle of Garden of Terror. Control the seeds, control the Garden Terror. This will be a first for me, Mr. Shane Gucher. But I'm excited to see what these teams are going to bring. Game number 2 of Glorious in EG, and some interesting picks all around. Let's jump right into it.
Let's get into it. So, yep, this is the second game going here on Garden of Terror on the left side of your map, ladies and gentlemen. The boys in blue, not Evil Geniuses, but Glorious. We have Cthulhu Luck on Demon Hunter, Vala. I need to stop calling her Demon Hunter because there's so many Demon Hunters. Vala. Glarong on Illidan. Syracuse on that Mech Tassadar. ZP's, no surprise, on that wonderfully color-coordinated different shades of purple and gold on Arthas. And then Nirak on his Uther. On the right side of the map, we have Faye on Falstad going top lane, looks like. Mookie Pants playing Anubarak. Idra on the Sergeant Hammer pick. Equinox playing Tychus, and Rusty on Brightwing.
Idra is playing Hammer.
Dude, how ham is
that?
He hated playing Terran. This is so confusing.
Oh wow,
he's a third player.
I have a disconnect icon in my corner. That's awesome. Let's hope that doesn't actually amount to anything, and hopefully the stream will stay on. Everything is being recorded for YouTube, anyways. For this game number 2, it's all about the party lane bottom, man. This party lane has, the good heals. We got some good range. Equinox there with the Idra. And you can see Glarong and Cotton, like, they are really afraid to engage on this, but they're going to jump on top of Equinox and not really get much for it.
Now, talking about the Illidan pick, there has to be specific situations, I feel, where you get an Illidan pick, and that is one of the big ones is you have a Tassadar. I feel like Tassadar and Illidan have great synergy together, and I really am going to look, oh my gosh, a Tassadar. Yeah, there we go. That's what I said. For a second, I thought I said Tychus. The Tassadar. And I'm really interested to see what build Tassadar goes, if he goes into the shield talents to like increase health, give him lifesteal and give him speed and things like that. There's a possibility of that happening, but it just gives him that burst and damage mitigation that Illidan needs to not get absolutely blown up. And you compound that with the burst heals coming from Uther. That really enables him it gives him the sustain to just sit in the team fights and do what an Illidan does so well, and just get in the back line and take people out of the fight. Bottom lane, though, a lot of just skirmishes back and forth going on here, but no one going down quite yet. First night, here we are.
Yeah, Faye and Nirak has not really been anything to write home about either. ZP is a little bit low there, has that Prince Arthur skin ready to go. Glorang is actually going to be the one that's going to be taking the brunt of that as the overkill. Overkill is kind of the bane of an Illidan as a note, because you can't evade it. And that's something really, really big to note. Faye's actually going to chase off 2 there in the mid, and it looks like a lot of these bottom seeds are actually going to go the way of Evil Geniuses. And, you know, early plant tear is not really the indicative of the game, but still, with the changed towers, if you can get a tower or 2 for your troubles, it's going to be worth it in the long run.
Yeah, with each one giving 400 experience, that amount of experience in the early game can really translate into a lot. Later in the game, it starts to fall off, obviously, but in the early game, that can really give you an advantage that you otherwise wouldn't have had just a couple of days ago in the new patch. So, and I really like that change. But up here at the top Garden Terror, once again, both teams just kind of poking and prodding, running around, trying to look at any possibility of picking someone off, but that is not the case. Oh, no, as I say that, Rusty gets taken out of position. Howling Blast by a Hammer of Justice. He uses Protective Shield Poison, but he's going to be taken down. There's your first blood, ladies and gentlemen. Going the way of Glorious Gaming. Just Rusty a little bit out of position, and a lot of the control coming out from Glorious to secure themselves that.
Now, a few important things to note here. 5-man Death Ball being roaming around here for Glorious, which means they are going to secure this monstrous amount of seeds, and that actually might put them into a terror. 85, 88. Close. Pretty close, but still, they got a bottom, and it is not going down nearly as fast as EG probably wants. But with the addition there of Faye, there's no Sergeant Hammer up here. Sergeant Hammer's been farming away at that bottom and has already taken out a tower to boot, but there's the fight.
Oh, man, bottom lane, though. Tassadar already getting picked off. I don't think he wasn't even able to get his dimensional shift off. Glaring's pretty low. He's going to parkour away. Is that what Illidan tends to do? I don't know if you guys knew he was French or not, but he actually is really good at parkour. And with that, Evil Geniuses is going to use that opportunity to get the Ogres of Glorious Gaming. That is their reward for that pickoff right there. And look at the seeds, very, very even. They're a 1 seed advantage for Glorious Gaming. So we're not going to see any super early Garden Tears. But the next night time we'll definitely see. I'm sorry, they got 1 more, so it translated into them having 1 less and them having 1 more. A 2-seed advantage, I thought.
I just want to see French Illidan just yelling out, "Tu n'es pas préparé."
I forgot you're Canadian. You can totally speak French. Yeah, all Canadians speak French, right?
That was probably terrible grammar, but we're going to leave it at that. All the right verbs were there, but I probably said it wrong. Either way, Idra was not part of a lot of those seeds. He was not part of really any of those fights either. He's been pushing towers, and that's what a Sergeant Hammer does. This entire gate bottom lane is no longer existent, and because of the 5-ball roaming death of Glorious, you know, they weren't in lanes. Idra was. He was able to get a tower, and again, towers giving experience puts them in the lead, almost an entire level at this point.
Yeah. That's so substantial, and oh, wow, Illidan actually getting picked off right there.
Top? Yeah, must have been top. Yeah. Lost against Faye. Did not see that coming.
Mano-y-mano, or not mano-y-mano, mano-y... Anyways, a one-on-one situation with that. What is the female connotation of man? I don't know. Anyways, down in bottom lane now, Cthulhu Luck, he's trying to run away, vaults away. Mookie Pants not able to connect with the Impale. But no, here comes Equinox, laying down a blanket overkill. Dimensional shift is down. Oh my gosh, he actually shielded the fort instead of him. Thankfully, he that didn't mean him going down, as that would have been a rather big misplay. But now Evil Geniuses has almost a 2-level advantage, soon to be just a 1. But this is a very large discrepancy for just 5.5 minutes into the game, and they have a level advantage already with only 2 kills. That is showing the power of the early game push and getting those towers. So they're going to be pushing this bottom fort. They know they have a huge advantage with level 10. Brightwing phase shift and then Equinox not yet using that Odin, being very patient with it, very confident that he's not going to be going down. He's down to about 20% HP there, but his buddy Rusty TPing in there and keeping himself alive. Look at him just going in there. I got a Tassadar shield. I got a Brightwing. I'm perfectly fine. Oh, a great shotgun off. Barely. Cthulhu Luck barely lived right there, but they're going to get themselves that fort bottom lane, fall back, and now both teams are level 10, but the damage has been done. Evil Geniuses still just growing themselves quite a significant experience advantage.
Yeah, as you said, 2 levels turned into 1, but hey, it was very important because 10 versus not 10 means you're going to have a heck of a time fighting. We do got ults now on both sides, and nothing really out of the ordinary looking through the mouth. If you don't know anything about Sergeant Hammer, this is a very textbook build from Idra. The advanced artillery is extra damage against farther range units. Maelstrom shells gives you more range. A first aid for the defense, and then, of course, Napalm Strike for the siege. And spamming out Napalm Strikes is great for team fights, great for clearing out creeps, but also great for sieging towers and forts.
Yep. So here's our nighttime, and there's definitely a high potential that both teams get a Garden Terror here. We're near the 7-minute mark, so Garden Terror gets exponentially better as the game goes on. So both teams are really going to be focusing on it. Glorious. I keep seeing blue when I say Evil Geniuses. Glorious Gaming already secured themselves one, and to see what teams are going to do to try to get the rest of the seeds, as there's a chance that they both get one in succession, or one of them gets 2 Garden Terrors in succession. But a good team fight here, starting here in top lane. There is the Metamorphosis going down. They were not prepared. Rusty dropped an Emerald Wind. There wasn't much follow-up. He's going to get taken out. Syracuse using his Dimensional Shift. In the Archon Equinox is just sitting there like a boss in his Odin. Takes down the Illidan. Syracuse very low. The grenade follow-up from Equinox. Very well played by him. He stood his ground and just picked him off. Near going down on the Uther. So a 3-for-1 exchange. And this is going to enable Evil Geniuses to soak up all the seeds on the map before they pick up their Garden Terror.
Well, also got to remember, Garden Terrors, they don't sit there forever anymore, and you have to cash them in. True. 30 seconds left, but no deaths for Evil Geniuses. So not only are they going to pick up those kills and those extra seeds, they almost have another one in the bank. And it's going to be Faye actually going to be taking this one for a drive out to the mid. Now, at the same time, ZPs, he did jump into the Glorious One. He's starting to siege up this mid. This very important tower experience could start bridging the gap between the two teams, but it's Shambler on Shambler action mid there, Shane. Something that a lot of people have to pay to see, in some of those seedy nightclubs. But nope, it's all bared out here for you in Heroes of the Storm, and having these Shamblers go at it. Fun stuff. Good news for Evil Geniuses, though. They got the talent advantage, which means this could be really good or really bad for Glorious.
Yes, I mean, if Evil Geniuses are able to get themselves those 20 seeds, or that kind of Shambler who's just overlooking this confrontation we have ongoing right now, then they're going to have 2 terrors back-to-back, and that's a really big deal. They can have a lot can be done when you have 2 terrors in such a small amount of time, and they're just kind of bossing them around. Glorious Gaming, neither team committing to a team fight, but they're just kind of, Glorious Gaming is like, stop chasing us. Evil Geniuses is just chasing after him, trying to get the lunch money from Glorious Gaming, but Glorious Gaming is unfortunately a little bit quicker and able to get away, and now they're going to fall back to the Garden Terror and try to secure themselves some more seeds. As that happens, they know Glorious Gaming are very well aware of what's happening. They got to be careful of that stun, though, because it does so much more damage with the new patch. A little bit of a ninja thing they added in there. Now, okay, Glorious Gaming's Terror is down, so this is a huge, huge advantage for Evil Geniuses. Yeah, they're going to get enough seeds for another Garden Terror right after this one.
Yeah, the timers were not very kind to Glorious. I mean, they did get in their Garden Terror first, and they didn't really get anything out of it. In fact, no gate top, but it didn't go top anyways. So yeah, they actually got almost nothing out of it. They got a few seeds, and there was no kills in the team fights, which means they don't get any of that underdog experience working in their favor. And as he said, a second Terror now in the bank for Evil Geniuses. The first one was just to fend off Glorious. The second one is going to be the big meat of the push. You can see Idra and crew here just doing a little bit of damage into that mid. Glorious is actually going to come in with a really great body block on top of Idra. That could be it for him, but he still had his hypercruiser thrusters ready to go. And look at the Divine Storm right there. Tastar is actually going to drop this shotgun on. Doesn't hit anybody. Everybody just played limbo right there, and it went right over their heads. And I don't think Gloron's going to get out of this one. He very might.
He's gonna be
I was gonna say he could use those mercs actually as like a parkour board, but wow, they're actually gonna let him go. They're right next to each other.
I had no idea how close they were
Idra,
to each other,
but the bid for it, and more experience to the name of the geniuses.
Yep, they're gonna be level 16 in no time here, Sean, and now they have another Garden Tear. The only tier 1 fort left up top lane. Actually, top lane's been pretty much untouched by Evil Geniuses, but they still have the potentiality of pushing down either the bottom lane or mid lane towers, and maybe even a keep if they get a couple good pickoffs or get a good team fight here. So Glorious Gaming needs to be really careful, and they need to be wary of the fact that Evil Geniuses is going to have that level 16 very, very, very soon. And that's a very big timing window as they have the Garden Terror and they have level 16. But they say, nope, I'm Arthas. I don't care. I'm going to charge right into the front here. Idra taking some damage for Cthulhu, but he's completely by himself. He is separated from the team fight. And now this is almost a 4v5 situation as Sealuck is just having to retreat away, a full-blown retreat from Glorious Gaming and a full-blown pursuit coming out of Evil Geniuses. Mookie Pants looking to line up an Impale here. There's a defensive Howling Blast. Doesn't really hit anyone except the Garden Terror, and they're just going to keep on retreating. So this is just a cat. This is literally a cat and mouse game right now, Sean. It seems like it's been like that for a while, where Glorious Gaming just goes like, hey, we're here. Come chase us. And then they just keep running after them.
Now, the good news is that nobody died from Evil Geniuses, so they're just going to continue on here with the push. Flip side, though, nobody died from Glorious, so it might have been cat and mouse, might have been more defensive, but I felt like, you know, they were kind of trying to lead him on the goose chase. It's like, hey, follow the pretty pony, and you don't get any objectives done, right? Evil Geniuses kind of caught on to that by the end of it, and they did actually rotate top, but Glorious is saying, all right, well, you know, no point in fighting, and there's only 15 seconds left on it. They go and they grab these towers, which is going to be great for experience in their pocket. It's a really good call for them there. Bottom lane, you know, there is another tower there and a gate that they could go for just kind of, you know, low-hanging fruit, but instead they actually are going to go for a bit more of a defensive option here. We need to hit 16 before a big fight comes out here, because Glorious is just about to hit 15 at this point. They're still down a talent tier, and that talent tier is arguably the most important one that you don't want to be down on this late.
Yeah, it's because all of a sudden you lose a team fight, and now they're gonna be hitting level 20 before you, and then it just snowballs from there. So they really need to soak experience and do something to get themselves level 16. And as I say that, they're gonna get in position to get the Shamblers, as this is the third nighttime in this game. We're at the 12, almost 13-minute mark here. And Glorious Gaming up to 50 seeds. There's a good chance they're gonna be able to get themselves a Garden Terrace. Both teams are fairly even on the seeds. Here we go. They just keep Glorious Gaming is just, you're right, they just keep baiting them out and going, okay, bring them here, and then let's go somewhere else. They know they can't fight without level 16. They're very aware of it. They're playing very defensively, but they're playing smart at the same time. They're forcing movements out of Evil Geniuses while Evil Geniuses doesn't want to move. So it's they're playing pretty smart through that.
They're playing smart, but they're still playing from behind ultimately. And another terror in the bank here. Evil Geniuses, that is not good because I don't think we have the damage to actually take home the rest of these seeds for Glorious. They're not 16, they can't fight, and now they're going to get bullied out of this one, which means they're going to be denied another terror if they don't do anything about this. And what can they do? I mean, they are able to soak out a few lanes. They were defending top, but there's no ammo there. In fact, that's going to be a free tower to Evil Geniuses if they're not very careful. And now that the Garden Terror is out, they cannot even go grab their creeps in the bottom.
Yeah, this is a huge opportunity for Evil Geniuses, and Glorious Gaming needs to be so careful about what they do here. They finally have level 16, but they're definitely still on the back foot because now they have a Garden Terror charging down one of their lanes. Top lane, top keep is completely susceptible to a push. Mid is pretty secure, and bottom is pretty secure, but top is absolutely susceptible to a push from the Garden Terror here. And once again, Glorious Gaming trying to play this game of chase me down, chase me down. I think Evil Genius is pretty tired of it, though. Mookie Pants going in there. He isn't Impale, but the Impale is off the mark. Syracuse takes a grenade. He's able to dimensional shift away. Glarong are running behind the safety of his own towers and gates. And this is Evil Genius's time. They said, we're tired of this. It's time to fight, boys. Laying down the pot to take down the damage, do damage to the towers and the gate to bring it down. And now they have to be careful about this because that Garden Terror still has 50 seconds left and is already down to about 66% HP. They want to get as much as they can out of this Garden Terror. Obviously, the prize that they have their eye on is that keep mid lane. Once again, neither team really not committing to a full-blown fight. Just a lot of back-and-forth actions. Both teams just trying to have a good foothold in position. Idra on the Sergeant Hammer just doing an insane amount of damage to the keep. And as I said, the keep's going to be going down. That thing's dead to rights. And just well played by Evil Geniuses, not overcommitting, not throwing away the advantage that they have.
They're not throwing it away. They're not doing any kind of crazy shenanigans. And, you know, at this point, 2 levels up, and they're down 1-0 in this best of 3. We are very much in danger of having our first game 3 of the day here in the Storm Weekly number 5, which is extremely exciting for me. But again, positioning coming out good. Rusty with the double bribe immediately gets those giants, which again is going to be forcing out some of these movements that you were talking about a bit earlier. Although this time it's going to be Glorious that are kind of anchored to that point. Going to clean up top, going to get some more mercs. We have 50 seconds there on the Bruisers, a minute there on the Giants. So that leaves us with the bottom half of the map, and both teams are making beelines for him as we speak.
Yep, Falstad flying down there. He doesn't want that fort to go down. He's going to play cleanup duty there. And just, it's a, I think, 2-level advantage. Their Evil Geniuses more than likely are going to get level 20 well before Glorious Gaming, but that's a little bit out. It takes us some time to get level 19. It's level 20. I think both teams just kind of move around the map, pick up their mercenary camps, make sure lanes don't get pushed in too hard, don't get picked off, and wait for the next nighttime, as the seeds are pretty even at this point in time. So once again, there's a very high potential that we're going to see both teams getting themselves a Garden Terror. And look at Glorious Gaming playing the Bush Party. They love the Bush Party game, man. Glorious Gaming loves the Bush Party game.
They're looking for the rotations. They know Rusty's up top. He was on that map, so they're looking for these picks, but might be too little too late. Rusty's not going to be down here because of that phase shift. And now ZPs is actually taking a heck of a lot of damage. Mookie Pants, unfortunately, can't connect on him. So I think Arthas is going to be able to walk away. Once again, Arthas Uther combos, especially throwing a Tassadar into the mix there, it can be really hard to burst right through it. Either way, advantage still going the way of Evil Geniuses. That was not an ambush that paid off whatsoever for Glorious. And now they're just kind of losing lanes left and right.
And there's the next Nightfall coming up. Both teams, again, just they go into the mercenary camps, get in mercenary camps. Let's not do anything silly. Rusty doing playing Brightwing to her strengths, knowing that I can TP to my teammates when I need to be. I might as well be doing something else somewhere else on the map. And here comes Glaron going in onto Faye in the back line. Faye gonna barrel roll away. Mookie Pants is in the thick of it. There's a shock and on. Down goes Illidan before he even can metamorphosis. Good lord. ZP going down as well. Equinox is just sitting there in the Odin, just plinking away at him, doing so much damage. Syracuse very low. He's gonna be able to dimensional shift away. Vala getting taken down there to the north by Idra's Sergeant Hammer. Don't get too excited, Sean. Syracuse needs to be careful here because he does not have dimensional shift. He does not have shield up, and they are hot on his tail. Idra trying to flank around him. He has a shield up. There's another dimensional shift. Nirak is going to be able to retreat away, though, and this Syracuse might be able to get away here. Equinox, nope, he wants none of it. They're still chasing him. They're still chasing him. In the meantime, there he goes. Down he goes. In the meantime, this is Evil Genius's opportunity to just take full map control, get all of the seeds, get themselves another Garden Terror. They also have level 20, so this is a very, very big opportunity for them.
Double Resurgence. We also saw the big red button, the 4 waves, or the 3 waves of the continuous wind, and of course the blast of awe coming up from the Falstead. Right now, 3-level advantage. It is Evil Genius's time to shine. This is their map. They have been firmly in control of this map, repeatedly up in levels, repeatedly denying objectives to Glorious. And now, you know, that mid keep, all that catapult pressure, it's been doing work. It's been keeping this lane pushed. Bottom lane, top lane has been consistently pushing in as well. Hasn't really chipped away a lot at these keeps, but still, pressure is there. And Glorious is just kind of, the noose is tightening, Shane. It's around their neck. And we're about to kick the stool out from under their legs with this next push, I feel, because more seeds. In fact, I want to say all 180 seeds went the way of GG right here.
All of them, and I don't know if that puts them into another Garden Terror right away, but it's definitely going to be pretty damn close.
Gloran just almost in and ruins it.
Mookie Pants needs to be careful. Burrow charged away. Oh no, he made the mistake that we all seem to make on Nubrek, and that's spamming the W button too much, and then just the Burrow charge and accidentally going underneath and then immediately popping up because we were spamming it so hard. Or I'm sorry, it's his E, not his W. I don't remember. I haven't played Nubrek in quite some time. You guys get the idea, though. Faye, there they go. They're going to push down this top lane. I mentioned it before. Top lane is very susceptible because the towers are down. The keep has very little mana and has already taken some damage as well. So they are leading the charge. Equinox hitting that big red button. I think this keep is going to be dead to rights. They're going to use, I mean, Glorious Gaming is going to use their Garden Terror in a defensive manner. Don't know what they're going to be able to achieve here. They do not have level 20. Evil Geniuses has level 20, but here we go. Glaron Gaming for Glorious Gaming going in there onto Idra boosting away. ZP is in the thick of it, just trying to get in the back line, do as much damage as you can. Equinox does not have Odin up. He just used it, and it just got down not that long ago. So they're just trying to push Evil Geniuses away to keep up that keep as best they can, and they're doing a pretty damn good job at defending so far. But I think Evil Geniuses is just biding their time. I think they're being real patient, and they're just waiting for that Garden Turret to be taken down, and that's going to be their moment to pounce on top of Glorious Gaming, and it's going to be soon here. It's very, very low.
Yeah, ZP's really pushing to that back line, but he took a lot of damage for it. We still had a minute left on that Terror, but it is actually going to be down now. Faye in the front line, soaking up the damage, setting it up here for the Tychus, for the Idra, but still not a kill going either way. But we do got some flower pots. We got Faye again, can just walk right into here. His auto attacks hit like a truck. Look at that, 736 spamming coming out on top of that keep. Level 21 to 19. Evil Geniuses have another Terror in the bank. This one is down, but at the same time, I mean, Glorious, they picked up some seeds in the last one. It wasn't quite the 180 that we were looking at, because they basically just allowed them to walk in. And the pickup on Mookie Pants actually was rather rendered void because of the resurgence. So, hey, they defended out against the tower, or the Terror. Congratulations, Glorious. They have another one to deal with, and whatever consequences come into play.
Man. Down here on the Knights, big team fight. Glaring finally hitting R and going into the Metamorphosis. But he just, oh my lord, that shock and awe. Down goes Tassadar. Vala is so very low. Our ZP is going to be taken out. That is a 5-0 exchange and ace going the way of Evil Geniuses. This might be the game, Sean. A good chance that it is, as all 5 of them are down for upwards of 45 seconds. They have the Siege Ogres knocking down the core from the top. So the Evil Geniuses, very, very dominating performance this game. It felt like an different team than what we saw last game.
Yeah, we have some really good strong comps on some maps and stronger comps on others, Mr. Shane. Very exciting for us, because we're going to the first game 3 of the tournament, and it's 3rd place, no less. Really well played right there from both sides. But yeah,
Half-Life 3 confirmed. Game 3 of the 3rd place scored. Half-Life 3 confirmed, guys.
Exactly.
Finally.
Right. Yeah.
Finally.
Half-Life 3, 3rd place here in Kings of the Storm 5. Right. Makes total sense.
Oh,
the 12th month of the 7th day of the 2000th year. Stuff like that. Just very controlling. I mean, the team comp from, the Sergeant Hammer was able to push out early, was able to get a good level advantage, and then they never really lost in seeds. The top lane was the first blood, and that actually went to Glorious, who got the first big Garden Terror. But at the same time, they traded out seeds very equally. They didn't really have a big advantage early on. And then after the pushing kicked in and Idra and crew, I think they hit 10 when ZPs and crew hit 8.
Yeah, it was like a level and a half-ish.
Yeah, it was just downhill from there. They never really had anything to their name past that.
I mean, and Glorious Gaming, they were playing well for being so far behind, but they never were able to make that big play that finally put themselves at least parallel with Evil Geniuses. It was, I mean, you could tell, like, it seems like for 10 minutes they were just chasing each other around. Glorious Gaming was trying to force the movements, almost kind of like Rat Heroes of the Storm, if you will, pulling out one of the terms from another MOBA. Yeah, that would have been beautiful. That would have been beautiful, the Benny Hill music.
All right, so game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. We're not quite done yet. Actually going a little bit later than I thought we would. But hey, we're going to jump into that as soon as we can, because 3rd place needs to be determined. 4 points for the monthly. FourCourtJester and Shane Gucher, not Mr. Kevin Naki. I love Kevin, but love Shane too. It's good stuff. We'll be right back here with game 3, so don't go anywhere.